back to my channel. Today I thought I would do something a little bit different and do some nail art. I'm going to show you guys how I made my own gel paints. I just used gel base and I mixed it with the colors I did my mani with. So I'm just going to mix a little bit of gel base with all of the different dip powder colors and create my own gel custom color. Now, I should have used probably a little bit less powder or a little bit more base, but this was my first time doing it. So I've just been trying new things and recording them and just seeing how they go. This mani is for a good friend of mine's birthday. I'm going to pop her Instagram tag in here so you guys can go shout out and give her some birthday love. It could be a little bit delayed, but I'm sure she'd love to hear from you. So this is around a 70s theme. So I've always loved that 70s show, and she did a 70s theme for her birthday collab, and I figured why not go ahead and try something new. So I was gonna use gel liners to start with, but then I was like, you know what, I want the colors to match exactly, so I'm gonna go ahead and just make my own gel with the powder, and it worked out fine. And it matched my colors perfectly. It just would have been a little bit easier if I did it with gel liners or gel paint already. But the dip powders glow. Well, the white, the blue, and the orange dip powders glow. I didn't make the red glow because I thought about it super last minute. But I thought that was really interesting, and I really wanted to have my colors match exactly for what I was going to do with them. And I mean, you can really do whatever you want, but if you have gel base and you have dip powder, there's no need to go buy liners. I mean, it is easier, but you can make your own here. You just got to play with the consistency that works best for you. So I went ahead and just dipped my nails regular. I put the regular colors on there just because I needed to have those done already, just because I wanted to make this video just about the art. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make lines. I'm gonna do like almost a French tip, but like a side French tip design type thing. And I only show me doing one layer on camera of all the colors, but I actually end up doing two, and it works out really well. I'm gonna let you guys go ahead and just watch this, and then I will come back when we get to the next part of the nail art. finished up with that index finger. Now we're going to go ahead and do some stamping. So if you'll notice, I have a stamp already on my middle finger, but I ended up not liking it at all, so I totally cut that part out of the video, and I decided to do something a little bit different. So I decided to take these 3 little flowers, we'll do 3 little flowers instead, and make the center of them the color of the nails. So one of the centers is going to be blue, one of the centers of them is going to be orange, and one of them is going to be red. So I mess up a few times, but as you guys see, I just put the polish, the stamping polish, swipe down, and roll the stamper up. Now, one of the tricks to stamping is you want to swipe one way and roll your stamper slightly the other way, just because that's just going to work out to get you the best pickup. And I wasn't sure if I was going to do more than one flower, so I did my reverse stamping, which I'm just coloring in the little dot in the center. I end up filling in the white when I get done all of the flowers. Like any of the white that I missed that I didn't pick up, I touch it up a little bit at the end when I'm done all the flowers. But I decided to go ahead and do 3 flowers instead of doing that design I already have on the middle finger, so it will end up getting wiped off. But this is kind of, see, it doesn't pick up always exactly how I want it to start with, but I mean, it's just trial and error, really. Stamping is not always easy for me. I just figured I would try it this time because sometimes it works out for me, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it takes a few times, and I leave everything really close so that I can pick up my stamp really quick. So if you're waiting too long to pick up your stamp after you scrape it, or waiting to scrape it too long after you put your polish on, all those things kind of work against you. You got to kind of be quick when you're stamping. So as you see, I've got my 3 flowers. I'm going to use my scraper. So I don't really use a paint palette because, number 1, I don't have one. And number 2, I have this stamping scraper that works just fine, as you see, as a paint palette. I just used it to put a little bit of red. The only reason, red and blue, well, the only reason I put both down was because I'm literally just doing a dot in the center. But if you're doing bigger designs for reverse stamping or using a color for longer than maybe 10 seconds, you are not going to want to do that because stamping polish will dry quickly, and then you will end up picking up dry polish, and you do not want to do that when you're reverse stamping, because then all you're going to do is scrape up the initial outline design, and it's just going to be a mess. So when you are reverse stamping, you just want to be very careful. I'm using a 4mm brush to do this because I needed the points. You can also use a dotting tool. I just chose to use this one because that's just a really, really tiny brush, and I really like using this one for this specific reason. I only use it for reverse stamping. I usually don't do reverse stamping on camera either. But, so sorry it was out of focus, y'all. It's just, I don't know what was going on with my camera. I wanted to focus on the brush and the shiny stuff on the brush and my glove. But all I'm doing is just filling in all the spots that were not picked up. And see, that it works just fine. The scraper does as a palette. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 3 flowers. I'm going to apply sticky base to my nail. I'm going to stamp all 3 flowers on there, and it will be super hard to see because my hand was totally in the way. I was more focused on getting the flowers straight than showing y'all on camera. That's crazy, which is the whole purpose of me doing this. But all I did was put the sticky base down, waited for the sticky base to dry just a little bit. There's a fine line. You want it to be tacky, but you don't want it to be dry. You don't want it to also be wet. So I'd say the dry time is about 20 or so seconds. I sped it up a little bit so you didn't have to watch all the way. But I ended up, you want to look and see exactly where you want it, stamp kind of carefully because you don't want to smush anything, and then put the stamps where you like them, kind of roll your stamper just a little bit so you get the whole image, and then that's pretty much it for the stamping. It is relatively easy once you get the stamp on the stamper, to get the stamp onto your nail. It just takes a little bit to pick it up sometimes, but practice makes perfect, as with anything. It didn't turn out half bad, right? Then I go in with a smudge-free top coat because you definitely don't want to ruin what you just did. So you want to kind of float it over, which is what I had done already off camera. You want to float it over your nail so that you get no errors. And then I went ahead and put a gel base and a gel top coat on top. Went ahead and finished everything up, and this is what we are looking like at the end. Overall, I really like how it turned out in the end. Had a little mishaps with the stamping, but it just takes practice. I like the 70s vibe it's given off. I think it really fits the theme. I think she'll really enjoy it, and I will have to report back whether she did or not. Maybe I can get her to comment on the video and let me know her thoughts on it. But I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys picked up a couple of tips and tricks. I hope you guys maybe consider trying some nail art. If you guys do end up liking anything, maybe leave a comment. Let me know what you learned, what you thought about everything. Maybe even consider subscribing and liking the video. It really helps out the channel. I appreciate having y'all, and I will see y'all in the next one.